This is a review of the Feyachi PL-31 laser handgun, rifle, shotgun module. It comes in a box like this. The box has batteries, extra batteries, instructions. You can see the extra batteries here. The box also contains this little Allen wrench, or Allen key, however you like to say it, which we'll get back to in a moment. Set that aside for now, but I'm keeping this out. I have this mounted to an airsoft gun at the moment. Orange tip, as you can see, not loaded, nothing in there. The main reason I used an airsoft gun for this is that, frankly, I'm not sure how well it's going to hold zero on a real gun. I have not yet tried it, but we'll get into that in a moment. The laser module itself is quite bright. I can easily see it across the room, and even at some distances outside. One of the neat features about it is that there are activation buttons on both sides. They are click on, click off style buttons, not a momentary. I generally like to have momentary options, but on a pistol where you're not necessarily going to be able to hold the button down all the time, although you could if you have the right grip. For example, right now you can see my thumb can rest easily on this button here, and I would be able to hold that way while shooting to activate the laser if necessary. One of the other features I like is the way that they've set up the rail attachment system, and the reason is, and I'll take it off just to kind of help make the point. As you can see, this rail system has, a certain amount of distance from the trigger guard to here, and then there's a number of attachment points there. The reason I like the system is there's a plate with multiple holes in it, and you can move this mounting screw to any one of those holes. And so that means you can pretty easily attach this to any handgun or rifle even, because the placement of the rail system on the firearm, or in this case an airsoft replica, doesn't really matter, because some of the other kind of higher quality lights that I've used in the past, like Surefire or Streamlight, have removable pieces within the mounting system, and you need to use a different piece for different types of firearms. So, for example, maybe a Glock pattern firearm rail has a different interface than what you saw on this, which is more of a kind of standard 1913 rail. Glocks are more like this, where there's only one cutout. That's another kind of point here, is that this light actually, or this laser, has a rail on it, so you could potentially have a light below the laser should you want to. I tried to put one of my Streamlights on there, however, it did not fit. I think because it was getting interference from either this part or the trigger guard itself. Finally, the part that I feel is probably the weakest piece of this design is actually the windage and elevation adjustments for the laser itself. everything else about this seems like it's perfectly good. Easy access to the battery panel there on the bottom. But the problem is this Allen key and the little Allen grub screws that you use to adjust the position of the laser. And you can see it in the instructions probably a little better. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. So in this page of the instructions, you can see that you have to loosen and tighten 4 separate screws that are all extremely small and easy to strip, because the laser module is just kind of balanced in between all 4 of those grub screws. And so, if you want to move it up, you can see you have to tighten the bottom ones after you loosen the top ones. The first issue I ran into with this is that the let me think of the right word here. Precision of this adjustment is extremely difficult. You can try to loosen this one and this one both like a quarter turn, and then try to tighten both of these a quarter turn. However, you can only tighten one at a time. You can only loosen one at a time. So I found that sometimes when I'm adjusting up, I might end up with a little bit more right or left adjustment of the laser by accident. And then I'd have to loosen and tighten all 4 of them again to try and right that issue. Definitely would like to see a different laser adjustment system on this, because the other problem that I could see with this is that under recoil of something other than like an airsoft gun, which the recoil is pretty minor, you may find that these screws end up backing out or loosening when you don't want them to, and then you'll end up with the laser kind of jumping all over the place. And then therefore it's really no longer useful as an aiming device. I did manage to get this pretty close to on with the sights and shot a full magazine of airsoft BBs out of it, and it did hold 0 for that purpose. So for airsoft, I could see this being perfectly reasonable for use. However, if you are intending to use the laser module for self-defense purposes, I definitely would not recommend this product for that. However, fit and finish, the machining on it is good. There are some plastic bits, like this button module is plastic, but the body of the laser is, I believe, aluminum. It's a metal of some kind. This plate that receives the screw on the other side that attaches it to the rail module, that falls off pretty easily. It's hard to find the right spot of looseness for this to detach from the rail before this falls off. So I find that most of the time it does fall off, and you have to hold it in there while you're threading the screw in here. But yeah, overall, it's not a bad product. The price, I think, is fairly reasonable for what you're getting here. Like I said, it does come with an extra set of batteries, and the module is bright. That would be like the main thing that I'd expect from kind of a budget laser like this one, but it certainly exceeded my expectations in that regard. So yeah, Feyachi PL-31 laser module. If you're interested, buy it on Amazon.